A study done by Yi Shui et al. Published last 2022. Good morning, I am Dr. Wenzel Jean Etor from Victoriano Luna Medical Center, Armed Forces of the Philippines Health Service Command, here to present a research entitled A Randomized Double-Blind Controlled Trial of Monolaurin Ointment versus Mupirocin Ointment of Bacterial Skin Infections among pediatric patients ages 5 to 18 years old in a community-based setting. Skin infection remains one of the leading causes of pediatric consults, especially in developing countries like the Philippines. A study from the National Statistics Health Services in Mali, published by the World Health Organization entitled Epidemiology and Management of Common Skin Disease in Children and Developing Countries last 2005, shows a high prevalence of skin infection, especially pyoderma, in the Pacific Islands, particularly in children. A study done by Yi Shui et al. Published last 2022 showed that skin and subcutaneous disease ranked 18th in the Global DALY's disease burden ranking, while skin disease were the fourth leading cause of disability globally. Mupirocin ointment or cream is commonly and the first-line choice with regards to topical antibacterial treatment of bacterial skin. A systematic review and meta-analysis made by Dadashi et al. Revealed that the prevalence of mupirocin resistance was 13%. The study showed that occurrence of mupirocin resistance was high in MRSA compared to methicillin-sensitive Staph aureus. The study showed a high occurrence of high-level and low-level mupirocin resistance in clinically isolated Staph aureus, which is a serious concern to prevent the spread of mupirocin-resistant Staph aureus strains in community and hospital. A study by Kumar et al. States that the rate of mupirocin resistance among clinical Staph aureus isolates varies according to geographic region and our patient population. Increasing trend in the overall prevalence of mupirocin-resistant strains in the period of 2011 to 2015 was also observed. One potential explanation for this is a significant increasing trend among overall Staph aureus infection and a shift in antibiotic pressures. The emergence of mupirocin resistance among Staph aureus isolates will result in a decrease in the efficacy of this antibiotic. The advanced technology of modern science aims to formulate a new class of antibiotics due to the emergence of antibiotic resistance in microorganisms becoming a concerning threat in the medical community. Nowadays, the use of traditional medicines derived from natural plants is in increasing demand, which is geared toward going back to nature as a source of medication. Recently, natural plants have gained popularity in society for their medical purposes, which have important therapeutic properties that can be used in the treatment of emerging and re-emerging diseases. Pharmaceutical companies continue to do vigorous research to discover a new antimicrobial compound with a new mechanism of action for new infectious disease, and consistently tried to find solution to the problem of multiple resistance to the existing synthetic and conventional antimicrobial agents. Therefore, more researchers and investigations direct their attention to antimicrobial of plant origin, which is found to be less in adverse reactions. Monolaurin is a monoacyl glycerol, which is a bioactive lipid since it can affect the human biological system. Monolaurin, like other monoacyl glycerol, is known to have no irritating effect and it can be used as food additive classified as generally recognized as safe for human consumption. Monolaurin is a type of monoacyl glycerol from lauric acid. Also, monolaurin can be produced from oils that contains lots of lauric acid such as palm kernel oil and coconut oil. These oils contain about 50% of lauric acid, so they are known as lauric oil. Monolaurin is known to be able to inhibit various pathologic bacteria even in the form of vegetative cells and bacterial spores. Monolaurin and its derivatives acts as antimicrobial through several mechanisms, namely destruction of lipid-coated bacterial and viral cell membrane by physicochemical process, disturbances the signal transduction and transcription in cellular and stabilization of host cell membranes. The availability of some of these mechanisms might be one of the reasons why bacteria cannot develop resistance to the action of monolaurin. The mechanism of monolaurin in inhibiting synthesis of Staphylococcus and other exoprotein poison is proven to occur at the transcription stage. Furthermore, monolaurin can interfere with signal transduction in its activity to inhibit the induction of beta-lactamase. Monolaurin is effectively able to inhibit tumor necrosis factor alpha of the Staphylococcus aureus and exotoxin produced. Limited clinical trials were reported on the use of monolaurin against skin infection, specifically in pediatric population. The objective of this study is to determine the clinical efficacy of monolaurin ointment versus mupirocin ointment in the treatment of skin infection of children in community-based setting. A total of 57 children with skin infection were screened for eligibility. 17 subjects were not eligible and 40 satisfied the eligibility criteria, and a total of 40 subjects underwent randomization for the treatment groups. Subjects were randomly assigned to monolaurin ointment for 7 days and mupirocin ointment for 7 days. The primary outcome measures for the clinical efficacy were the response of the subject to the treatment by assessment of the post-treatment using the skin infection rating scale. The secondary outcome measures were the wound size, microbiologic post-treatment gram stain, and culture. The wound size was assessed using a digital caliper measuring the widest diameter of the lesion in millimeters. The series was done pre, mid, and post-treatment by pediatric residents as outcome assessors. The wound gram stain and culture specimen collection were obtained using a Levin technique. The obtained cultures were brought to a tertiary clinical laboratory. The baseline demographic and clinical characteristics were acquired from the study participant. The mean age of the subject was 10.9 years for monolaurin and 10.95 years for mupirocin. Majority of the subjects were of school age, with 17 subjects in monolaurin group and 16 subjects in the mupirocin group. Majority of the subjects were male. Subjects that were eligible for the study was diagnosed with impetigo, infected insect or arthropod bites, and infected wounds. The number of the lesion for both study groups was homogeneous. This table shows the wound size pre-treatment and post-treatment of both monolaurin and mupirocin ointment. The average wound size of mupirocin group is 13.445 mm pre-treatment and 5.545 mm post-treatment. The result shows that there was a significant difference from pre-treatment to post-treatment. For mupirocin group, wound size pre-treatment is 11.66 mm and 3.665 mm post-treatment. The result also shows that there was a significant difference from pre-treatment to post-treatment. Comparing monolaurin and mupirocin ointment, the results showed that there was no significant difference as proven by p-value of 0.58134 and 0.42945 on both pre- and post-treatment. This table shows the summary table of the skin infection rating scale from baseline to day 7 of both monolaurin and mupirocin ointment. This shows the pairwise comparison of SEERS from baseline until day 7 of both monolaurin and mupirocin. There were noted significant clinical improvement in both treatment groups on the crust, erythema or inflammation, and pain or itch. This table shows the comparison of monolaurin and mupirocin based on the skin infection rating scale. It was noted that there was no significant difference in all criteria from day 1 to day 7 as proven by p-value of greater than 0.05. The presence of gram-positive organism was identified in both groups, with 15 subjects in monolaurin and 16 in mupirocin group pre-treatment. One subject in monolaurin group showed a presence of gram-negative organisms. 4 subjects showed no growth in the monolaurin group and 4 in mupirocin group. Post-treatment, the majority of the subjects showed no growth with 12 subjects in monolaurin and 13 subjects in mupirocin group. 8 subjects in monolaurin and 7 subjects in mupirocin showed the presence of gram-positive bacteria. There were no noted gram-negative bacteria. There was a noted significant difference from the pre-test to post-test on both monolaurin and mupirocin. An in vitro study made by Carpo et al. On the antibacterial activity of monolaurin compared to the conventional antibiotics against organisms from the skin infection showed that the gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial isolates from the superficial skin infections are sensitive to monolaurin in a statistically significant manner. The majority of the bacteria did not show any resistance to it. Another similar study made by Okachukwu et al. In 2021 showed evidence that gram-positive and notably gram-negative bacteria were actively destroyed by monolaurin. In this study, it was noted that there is a significant clearance of microorganisms comparing pre-treatment and post-treatment as evidenced by a p-value of 0.01345. Bacteria were isolated in 34 samples from 40 subjects pre-treatment. Bacteriologic analysis of lesions revealed mostly Staphylococcus. In non-diphtheria Corynebacterium, Corynebacterium jejunum, Group A Staphylococci, and a gram-negative Coccobacillus, Pastorella multicida were isolated from the subjects in monolaurin group. There was one unidentified organism found in mupirocin group. Post-treatment, 21 samples were cleared of bacterial growth from 34 samples with noted isolates. 12 samples from 20 showed no growth in the monolaurin group, and 13 samples from 20 showed no growth in mupirocin. Of the isolates seen post-treatment, most of these were bacteria with noted high resistance to mupirocin and those methicillin-resistant bacteria. The following isolates were seen post-treatment includes Staph epidermidis, Staph aureus, Staph hemolyticus, Staph plentus, Staph warneri, and Bacillus megatherium. These isolates are resident bacterial skin flora. Also, noting that post-treatment wounds are already healed and when there is no draining from the wound, taking skin cultures frequently identifies polymicrobial organisms that are not infectious etiology. The negligible difference in bacterial culture means that these two topical drugs have coverage of the existing bacterial isolates. Among 34 culture-positive samples, the majority have penicillin resistance. 58 were resistant to ampicillin, 35% were resistant to oxacillin, 32% were resistant to erythromycin and cefoxitin, 29% were resistant to amoxicillin clavulanic acid, 23% were methicillin resistant, 20% were resistant to clindamycin, and another 20% with high resistance to mupirocin. 11% were resistant to fusidic acid, 8% were resistant to gentamicin, 5% were resistant to amikacin, tobramycin, and trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, and 2.9% were resistant to ciprofloxacin, tetracycline, nitrofurantoin, and rifampicin. In this trial, the standard topical therapy for superficial skin infection, mupirocin ointment, was compared with topical monolaurin ointment. Similar cure rates occurred in the two groups based on skin infection rating scales, gram stain and culture, and wound size. This finding suggests that monolaurin ointment can be used in place of mupirocin ointment. These are my references. Thank you and good morning once again.